The Scream franchise does not need Nev Campbell to continue. So I know that opinion's very unpopular. Everyone loves Nev Campbell's character. I do too. I love Sidney Prescott's character. She's the main girl of the franchise. However, I think at this point the franchise does not need her at all. I mean, we've gone through 5 films with Sidney Prescott, and it seems like the further and further we get into it, the less and less we really need that character for the story to progress. When you look at part 4, it seemed like they were just looking for a reason to bring her back into Woodsboro, with the whole book deal and all of that. But when you look at the entire story, she wasn't really necessary. It was just kind of a way to make more money. But when you look at part 5, you could tell they were really trying to go somewhere different with the story. With Sam Carpenter, with Tara Carpenter, you really didn't need Sidney Prescott in part 5 whatsoever. And then when you look at part 6, it only proves itself that we didn't need that character anymore. In part 5, Sydney's character was just so unnecessary. I mean, she wasn't in a whole lot of the movie except for obviously the ending in the original house, in the Stumacher house. But when you really, if you look at this movie and you kind of look at it without Sidney Prescott, like imagine how this movie would have been without her, you realize that the story would have pretty much been the same. You didn't need Sidney Prescott to make part 5 work. And again, that proved itself going into part 6. I love the characters of Sam and Tara Carpenter. I love that Sam is the daughter of Billy Loomis. This only deepens the story moving forward. The other thing is, I don't want this to be another Jamie Lee Curtis situation where, if you look at Halloween 1 and 2, and then she decided she's not coming back moving forward. So then we end up with Halloween's 4, 5, and 6 without Jamie Lee Curtis. We end up with an entirely new final girl. And then she decides to come back for 7 and 8. But then there's Rob Zombie's remakes, and you know what I mean. And then she comes back for the David Gordon Green timeline. It creates such a mess, and that's something I don't want to see happen to the Scream franchise because I love that franchise, and I know most people do. So I think for this story to continue and for it to progress and remain good, we have to let Sidney Prescott's character go. In part 6, it's clear she went somewhere else. They made mention of her. I believe the cop said he contacted her, something to that effect. They let it go, and it worked. And to me, in my opinion, I know this one's going to be unpopular too. I think Sam Carpenter is a better Final Girl. I'm really enjoying what she brings to the Scream franchise, and I'm loving the dynamic between her and her father, and her seeing her father's, I guess, ghost or hearing his voice, and every time she looks at a reflection, she sees him standing behind her. I love that, and I think it just brings something completely different to the franchise. Now, I'd like to see the Sam and Tara storyline progress over at least 2 more movies. And as long as these Scream movies keep making money, of course they'll keep making more of them, just like they do with Halloween. But I think if we hold on to the Sam Carpenter character for a while, it's really gonna work out. And what's cool about that is we have Tara, whose character technically is not needed, but it helps the story. But it also makes her dispensable moving forward. You don't know what you can get, especially that every Scream movie seems to break more and more of the traditional horror movie rules. Tara's looked at as one of the final girls, but I don't think she's at the level of where Sam is. So I think by the time we get to a Scream 7, we're gonna see Tara die. If not by Scream 8, if there's a Scream 8, if it goes that far, I think we will see Tara's character die off. But I think we'll get to see the Sam character progress, and not just Sam and Tara. We also still have some legacy characters left. We still have Gail Weathers, who was confirmed that she survived that brutal attack in her apartment. We still have Hayden Panettiere's character, Kirby. She's still alive and she's an FBI agent, you know, so and she's a fan favorite. So there are other things besides just the final girl and besides Sam that will carry the franchise. There are some legacy characters. There are some characters from part 5 that made it into part 6 and are confirmed to have made it through part 6 and we'll probably see in part 7. So, you know, we have legacy characters, we have some new characters which are becoming legacy characters over time. Um, but honestly, I feel like anyone who has seen part 6 that I spoke to loved the movie, and they made it very clear that we just don't need the Sidney Prescott character as much as I would love to see Sidney continue on. At the same time, I don't want it to ruin the franchise. I think it's time to move on from that character. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to know if you would want to see Nev Campbell come back as Sydney, or would you want to see Sam Carpenter continue as the final girl? Would you rather see Tara continue as the final girl? Maybe Sam dies. What ideas do you guys have for Scream 7 and the franchise moving forward? And maybe that could be the next topic.